Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to my channel. So today I'm training biceps and I'm going to show you my full biceps workout, and I'm also going to give you tips and advice about just absolutely everything today. But it's going to be focused primarily on building a big biceps. So I'm going to start with one of the best biceps exercises ever. One of my favorites is going to be the standard shoulder width grip dumbbell curl. Now, why do I like this exercise so much? Is because just the nature of the exercise, that the dumbbells, they offer you like a free range of motion, meaning with the barbells you have to pick the grip. With dumbbells it comes a lot more natural. When you grab the dumbbells, obviously to get a wider grip you have to actually make an effort to get that wide grip, or make an effort to do a more narrow grip. Naturally, the thing that you're going to do is going to be just shoulder width. I believe the shoulder width grip is like the best grip for building big biceps. So let's start with my first set. Today I also did a triceps workout, but I decided to make these walks a little bit shorter, just to split the two apart. So in two different videos for you. So let's start. The other one is going to be a voiceover. This one I'll be talking in between the sets. To be honest, I'll probably start uploading a lot more vlogs from now on, because I feel like just repeating myself like all the time. About when I make an informative video, just repeat myself all the time. Okay, see if the arms are going to get pumped up. Hopefully they will. So back bounce. See you in the second set. Now let's start with the tips and advice. Now I would say, if you want to build muscle very fast, you have to do this. Something that I'm going to tell you in a second. Now, usually a lot of people, when they start lifting, they look for information on the internet, and there's a lot of bad information on the internet that says, for example, leave reps in reserve. Now, usually why is that a problem? Because when you don't have the experience, you don't know how many reps to leave in reserve. And I would say a lot of people don't really get it. For example, I used to leave reps in reserve in the past, but I didn't make gains. And when I actually stopped leaving reps in reserve and I actually started training a lot harder, that's when I started making the best gains of my life. And I started to actually trying to leave less reps in reserve each time. I started to push myself on each set, like every set and every workout I tried to do more and more until I've reached basically failure. And obviously I don't do that on every exercise. For example, on the bench press I don't do that. On squats I don't do that. On curls I I get to failure, but I'm always in control of the eccentric. Now I'm going to demonstrate a set going to failure. I'm going to take the set to failure, and you're going to see how I don't just let go of the weight on the eccentric. I'm always in full control. That's to avoid any bicep tears, something very important that a lot of people don't get. So maybe it's a good idea to start with my set, or maybe talk a little bit more about it. But usually when you leave reps in reserve, you don't really activate the fast twitch muscle fibers, also known as the upper threshold muscle fibers, and they're the only muscle fibers that have potential for muscle growth when you have been training for some time. When you're past the absolute beginner's phase, it's over. You have to start training harder or you're not going to see gains. And that's why I would say it's a very good idea to... The idea is to just do challenging sets. Stop being lazy. That's the whole idea. And obviously you have to be careful, and when I say challenging sets, I don't mean take the sets beyond failure or do whatever possible to lift that weight and cheat. I'm just saying, with perfect form and the full range of motion, do a challenging set. That's it. So let me show you now a challenging set of dumbbell curls for biceps. And also, if you don't know how to form the dumbbell curl, now I'm going to show you. This is your starting position. As you can see, arms fully extended. Now, as you can see, I'm just going to move my forearm. I'm not going to lean back. I'm not going to cheat to lift the weight up. I'm not going to turn this into a lower back exercise. It's a biceps exercise. So let's start. You see how clean that was. Okay, that was failure. So failure basically is you can't lift the weight up. It sticks, just sticks. You can't complete the rep. That's it, it's over. You don't get help from someone else to help you lift that weight. No, it's over, the set is over. You stop the set, you rest, and then you're on to repeat another set and another, and you finish with the workout. You don't need help. You don't, let me show you, you don't do this. You don't do this to lift the weight up. You do this instead. Or maybe you can incorporate a little bit of shoulder flexion like this, or maybe just do one exercise, one curl variation with very strict just elbow flexion, and maybe the second exercise can be with a little bit of shoulder flexion like this, because that's one of the functions of the biceps, shoulder flexion. See the pump. Let's get the big arms. Now, in order to build a lot of muscle, it's not just about lifting. You have to be in a small caloric surplus for many months. It depends on how much muscle you actually want to gain. And for example, the biceps, because I'm training biceps today, if you want to get big biceps, you have to do a lean bulk. Now you can check out my channel. I've talked about how to lean bulk many times. Just type how to lean bulk in the search bar on my channel and you can watch one of my videos. Now, why is that? Why do you have to actually eat more in order to build muscle? Because building muscle, that's obviously, let's say that for example you're 170 pounds, 6 feet tall, 170 pounds, and you currently have 15-inch arms and you want to get to 16-inch arms. Now, to add muscle, that's mass, you can just create, and you're fairly lean. You're 170 pounds, 10% body fat, 6 feet tall. Now you can just add mass when you're that lean. You can't actually recomp, in my opinion, at that body fat percentage because it's fairly lean, very lean, I would say. A lot of people start to maintain that. Some people actually don't have any trouble maintaining that, but usually you can't just add mass out of nowhere. You have to get that mass from somewhere. So that's why the calories, that energy, is going to help with creating that new muscle. So to build, let's say, your bigger biceps, you have to gain some weight. You have to bulk to 175 pounds, and then 180 pounds, 185 pounds, 190 pounds, and you get the idea. You get the idea basically. You have to gain weight, but you don't have to dirty bulk. You can do a lean bulk, gain a lot of muscle without gaining fat, and that's all you need, to be honest. That's all you need. I've never been a fan of dirty bulking. To be honest, I don't like it. I actually dislike dirty bulking. Because a lot of people they want things to happen very fast, and dirty bulking is not going to be fast, believe me. Third set. Another set to failure. That's how you build big arms. You have to eat a little bit more. Also, for building a lot of muscle, it's not just about bulking, it's not just about being in a small caloric surplus over time. You also need to eat plenty of protein to really simulate that muscle growth and to actually build the muscle. Because protein is very important. The amino acids, especially the essential amino acids, they're really going to be like they contribute to that muscle growth. So to build a lot of muscle, my personal experience is that you need to eat at least 200 grams of protein. You can maybe eat a little bit more, it depends on if you can eat that much, but usually if you're eating plenty of food, you don't need to eat large amounts of protein. But if you're in a deficit, you need to eat more protein to keep building muscle. And I would say if you're very lean, you have to be in a small caloric surplus, obviously. But yeah, protein at least 200 grams every single day, up to maybe 250, 300 grams of protein. Yeah, I know that sounds like a lot of protein, but my personal experience is that it helps with recovery and improves muscle growth compared to eating less protein. I would say for most people, the minimum amount, the absolute minimum amount of protein that you're going to get away with is 150, like the absolute minimum. But I believe there are benefits to eating a little bit more protein, and actually more protein means that your total daily energy expenditure is going to go up, is going to go way up, and you'll be able to eat a little bit more calories and actually stay leaner. And actually protein is very good at just, you're not hungry after eating protein. That can be chicken breast, yogurt, whatever. Just makes you're not hungry basically. So yeah, I really care about eating a lot of protein. I personally use a protein powder supplement. I usually don't drink it, but I add it to my oats. I usually to get a lot of protein, I eat it with my oats to get both carbs, calories and protein, and I can also add some milk to really improve the taste and also get some extra protein and calories, because I'm currently trying to build more muscle. So let's start with my set number 4 biceps. Another set to failure. A lot of people absolutely underestimate the power of eating carbs, because carbs are a very powerful macronutrient, and you need a decent amount of carbs to get a lot of benefits. For example, let's start with the first benefit: muscle building. The muscle building effect. Both protein and carbs, they work together to build a lot of muscle, and usually if you're just eating protein, you have to eat a lot more, and these calories, they have to come from somewhere. And usually carbs are a very great source of energy, because not only they help with muscle growth because of the extra calories, the extra energy, but second, they really help with your performance at the gym, lifting weights. Fats, they're not that great compared to carbs for just having that strength to lift the weights. Also the glycogen and that extra water that you're going to get from eating high carbs is really going to give you that fuller look. It's going to make your muscles pop a lot more. It's going to make you look bigger. For me, when I eat less carbs, for example on a low carb diet, my shoulders, they get a lot smaller, I look way more narrow, but my waist stays the same. And also I just look a lot smaller, kind of flat looking, and it's not fun, and I don't have the same strength. I usually lose a few reps and a few pounds on any exercise. So high carbs are very powerful. I would say don't be scared from eating carbs. It's not like it's going to make you hold on too much water. And to be honest, if you're worried about not walking lean, just lose a little bit more body fat. That's probably your problem in the first place. It's not the carbs that's the problem, it's the fat. So just get leaner and that's it. I mean, carbs, first of all, they taste great. Rice, for example, the favorite of many people. I mean, how can you actually avoid a macronutrient like eliminating food groups? It doesn't make sense to me. Set number 5. Again, I take each set to failure to build more muscle. I used to be way stronger, I don't know why. I have more muscle now, but I'm weaker, so I don't get it. I used to be able to do like 14-15 reps, 13-14 reps with that weight, and I was smaller, I believe, or I was just leaner, but with more muscle, I don't know. So yeah, carbs, they work amazing.